Hey guys, today we have a 2026 Chevy Blazer EV SS, so the most powerful performance-oriented electric car in Chevrolet's lineup. It has two electric motors, one on each axle, making it all-wheel drive, which make total of 615 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. That translates into 0 to 60 in a little over 3 seconds, and at the same time we can do over 300 miles on full battery. Pricing starts at $62,000, and after checking 2 or 3 options, you're looking at 64 or 65K, which I know is a lot for an electric vehicle that will become obsolete in 5 years, but for the performance and driving dynamics this offers, it's not too bad. Just like most EVs that GM has released in the past years, this thing sits on the BEV3 platform, so it's shared across the entire GM electric crossover lineup. In case of the Blazer EV SS, we have a multilink suspension up front and in the back, combined with passive, non-adaptive dampers, but Chevy made some changes to the suspension to make it feel more agile and fun to drive. We have 6-piston Brembo front calipers, and braking power is actually pretty decent. Our tester has 22-inch rims wrapped in Michelin Primacy all-season tires, 275/40. It is a squared setup. Also, Chevy made some changes to the steering to make it feel more direct, but I can already tell you it's a typical modern EPS rack, doesn't provide us much feedback. As of design, it's an EV, so Chevy didn't really worry about the longevity of this design or timelessness. Looks great right now. We'll see how it's gonna look in a few years, but it's very attractive, eye-catching, and people actually turn to look at it. We have a 102 kilowatt-hour battery on board, which can give us around 304, 306 miles of range on full charge. Using fast charging gives you 80 miles of range in 10 minutes of charge. If you use level 2 at home or in the office, you're looking at between 20 to 30 miles per hour of charge. There's no frunk up front, just like other cars based on BEV3. GM put electric powertrain components, but we can take a quick look, see what's happening there. We have struts, so that's surprising. Just quick access to some of your fluids and powertrain components. Let's shut this and talk about the interior space, starting with the seats. As always, they are a little disappointing on a firmer side, and they don't provide very good support. For an SS model, I would expect something that is gonna hold me nice in place, but you do slide around, especially when you drive aggressively. We have those synthetic suede Alcantara inserts, which kind of help, but still a little disappointing. They're also on a firmer side, so they're not the most comfortable seats, and the headrest is at a weird angle facing forward, so this whole week I haven't been able to find a good sitting position, but besides that, they're heated and cooled, so that's cool. Pretty decent door pockets. Front windows, the driver's window is only automatic up and down. The rest of them are automatic down, but not up, which for a car that costs over 60 grand is disappointing. We do get power folding mirrors though. Right, let's jump inside, and as with most modern EVs from General Motors, all we have to do is step inside. The car is gonna detect that you have the key on you and automatically start up. It's a typical modern Chevy interior. Somewhat decent and soft touch materials above the belt line, below lots of hard touch plastic, but everything has been put together pretty well. I haven't noticed any rattles or squeaks. Different colors and the extension of that Alcantara or suede, whatever you want to call it, from the seats. Pretty decent visibility as well, besides the D-pillar, which creates some blind spots. Technology-wise, this is something that we also have seen in other GM products. Wheel-based infotainment system with very nice interface, lots of options and configuration. We do not get wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Unfortunately, you have to rely on Google Play Store to download applications. The library is getting bigger and bigger, so that's good. You can download Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Waze as a navigation system. Natively, it comes with Google Maps, which I think is one of the best Navi systems, and it'll also plan the route for you depending on your battery charge, and will tell you when to make stops on a road trip if you are to run out of battery. Lots of hard touch, plastics, piano black, but the practicality is good. Pretty deep storage here, wireless charger, also lots of room under the armrest with 12-volt socket and USB-C charging port, also decent glove box. So mix of good and bad. At the end of the day, I cannot really complain. The gauge cluster is customizable if you want to play with it. Change the design of your gauges, display a full screen map, driver assistance view, and more of a clean muted view that only shows you your current speed and energy consumption. Just like with other EVs from GM, you can adjust region braking using the pedal here. It's kind of like a region on demand, so you don't have to have one pedal drive on to take benefit or advantage of using a regenerative braking. Still a decent amount of physical controls for an EV, including gauge cluster, climate controls, temperature control. So it's a mix of good and bad. All right, jump in the back seat, see what it's like to be in there. At the end of the day, it is a mid-sized SUV, so being 6'1", I should not have any issues. And I'm not having any. Lots of legroom and headroom, even with a panoramic sunroof. This part of the roof opens up. We have an armrest, climate vents, 2 USB-C charging ports, heated outer seats, only one pocket. The driver's seat doesn't have one. And Chevy gave us cheap plastics that remind me of those from a Chevy Cruze. So, not ideal. We have easy access to ISOFIX latches, and we can drop the seat to create a somewhat flat floor. Let's take a look at the trunk. One thing I noticed is there's a lot of condensation on this tail light. It hasn't rained in over a week, and I haven't washed it in 5 days. So maybe it's just a defective tail light. That one doesn't seem to be having that issue. Trunk space is pretty average for a mid-size SUV, but this is not necessarily a family vehicle. We do have some extra storage under the floor. Obviously no spare tire, and doesn't seem like there's a fix-a-kit, so I better not get a flat tire. Knock on hard plastic. It's pretty easy to reach the latches for the seats, to drop them, to extend the cargo area. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty all right. Can't complain. Let's fold the seats back up and take it for a spin. See what it's like to drive this thing. It is an SS, so let's see if we can keep up with promises. Take a quick look at the camera system. 360 camera is standard on the SS. You can select different views, front and back, sides. So everything you can ever need. Now, 2 things about GM are they know how to make good EVs, and they've proven that in the past, making one of the best electric cars, especially from the mainstream brands on the market. I think the only other ones that truly compete with them are Kia and Hyundai, and obviously Tesla, which is that weird in between when it comes to entry-level luxury and a mainstream vehicle. Another thing they do very well are performance vehicles, which is crazy to think. I mean, all variants of the C8 Corvette are just amazing. It's a great GT, sports car, performance car, whatever you want to call it. The CT4 and CT5V Blackwing are probably the best vehicles in the segment. Plus, they can also be purchased with a manual transmission, which is not so obvious in 2026. Now, the Blazer EV SS is an interesting vehicle. It has a couple of things that have been done right. Powertrain calibration is just amazing. The torque distribution is fantastic. We have no issues with driving it, no matter if we use one pedal drive, if we decide to turn it off. Cabin isolation is good. Same with the ride comfort. The SS basically drives like a regular Blazer. There are no significant differences, so we have high levels of comfort, great practicality. But what does that SS badge mean? Does it give you anything extra, any emotions like the old Camaro SS did? Well, doesn't have a screaming V8 under the hood, but it has 615 horsepower. So let's stop over here with a straight road ahead of us, put it into Z mode, which is gonna set everything to the most aggressive configuration, including ESC, and we're gonna have wide open watts mode, which is gonna unleash the full power. We have launch control too, floor it. Oh boy, and that thing is quick. According to the computer on board, 0 to 60 took 3.1 seconds, which you do have to take it with a grain of salt. Realistically, we're looking at 3.3, 3.4, which is still very impressive, especially for the money. I don't know what other electric crossover does 0 to 60 in sub 3s, probably Ioniq 5N, but it's not going to be as big and as practical. It is more fun to drive. It has more gimmicks, those electric noises, fake gear shifts, but this thing is really nice. I really like it. Like I said in the intro, the EPS rack doesn't provide us much feedback. We don't really know what road surface we're traveling on, what's happening with the front axle, and it's gonna sound weird, but I wish it had rear axle steering to make it feel more nimble. This thing weighs 5,700 pounds and the chassis does everything it can to mask this weight, but I would love to see rear axle steering here. It's already an EV, which isolates us from a lot of things, doesn't give us much, and it is a synthetic experience. But like I said, wouldn't mind having a little bit more rotation, because this thing still rotates very nicely. The torque distribution is very, very good, and from a stop at lower speeds you can get this thing to rotate and slide a bit, so that's super fun. And brakes are also great. The blending of region braking and friction brakes gives me nothing to complain about. The 6-piston Brembos are very, very powerful, and stop this beast. The chassis is a little bit stiffer compared to the regular Blazer. It's not a day and night difference, there's still significant body roll. It does, however, handle very nicely. It can go through corners very, very fast. There's gonna be some initial understeer first. Michelin's primacies fight for grip. They don't provide plenty of it. So I would definitely get a set of Pilot Sports S5s or 4Ss. All right, let's stop here, sum this thing up. In the sea of fully electric SUVs, this is maybe not special, but pretty cool vehicle to drive. If you like the Blazer though, I would just consider the regular RS or LT model with all-wheel drive. You don't need all that 615 horsepower on a daily basis. Nice to have over 200 miles of range, but it's more of a halo EV for Chevrolet as of now. One thing I will say though is the depreciation. Those cars will depreciate a lot, so in a year, 2 years, you can probably get a pretty fun car for around $40,000, $35,000, and it's gonna be pretty cool. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about this thing. If you guys have any questions about it, drop a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'll hit the back road, have a little bit more fun in it, so stick around if you want to see it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all later.